It's day 2 here at Talking Stick, and today we got him. It was not a good start. Got stuck right away. Got stuck 550. So we were in for 1550 total. Got back to even, and then picked up pocket queens, an early position, and a straddle pot. I open to 40. I get 2 callers, and the straddler calls as well. Flop comes 7-5 deuce rainbow. Straddler checks. I bet 70. Folds back to the straddler. He has a short stack. He ships it in for 320. I call. Turn is a 7. Not too great of a turn. River is a deuce, and he turns over queen deuce offsuit. So 2 outs me to win a pretty decent sized pot there. That was a rough one. Then a couple hours later, I pick up pocket 8s in middle position. The under the gun +1 player opens a 15. Middle position player min raises to 30, and that's a pretty good indication of pocket aces. I see a lot of people do that. They min raise when they have aces.
Here for the vlog. Do you want one?
Sure, man. Sounds good. All right. I'll do a IPA. That sounds good. All right. So I call with pocket 8s, and the under the gun player calls as well. We go 3 ways to the flop, and the flop comes 10-8-4. Awesome flop. We've got middle set. The under the gun player checks. The pre-flop 3 better makes it 60. I just flat. The other player folds, so we're heads up now. The turn is the king of diamonds, and the player bets 130. I raise to 400. He ships it for 490 total. I call, just hoping that the river is going to be anything other than an ace, but nope. The river's an ace, so we get 2 outed again. He turns over pocket aces. We lose that one. That one hurt. So we're below even again. But not too long after that, I win a few hands and get close to even. Then I pick up pocket aces, and I'm first act. It's a straddle. I open to 40. Player in middle position calls. The straddler makes it 100. This is the same player that 2 outed me with the pocket aces against my pocket 8s. And I 4-bet to 350. So at this point, the hand is capped. So when it gets 4-bet in Arizona here, Talking Stick, the hand is capped. You can't 5-bet. If it's multi-way, if it's heads up, you can 5-bet. So the first caller calls the 350. So he called my 40, and then it's just like, hey, I'm gonna call 350 as well. The 3-better, the straddle, or sorry, not, he wasn't even the straddler, he was the big blind. He flats as well, so we go 3 ways to the flop. It comes 9-8-4 with 2 clubs, and the big blind checks. I bet 500. That's the max you can bet here as well. It's a $500 max bet. The player in middle position calls, and the big blind folds. The turn is another 8. I bet enough to cover my opponent. He only has 400 left, or a little bit more than that. He calls. Thanks, man. What's your name? Al, coming in with the beers.
Yeah, no doubt.
For the vlog. Thanks a lot, man.
Welcome to Arizona, man.
Thanks. So the player calls. He says if you have pocket aces, you're good, and he slides in his chips. He has pocket kings. I turn over the aces. The river is 10 of clubs, so I win that one. That was a huge pot. And not too long after that, I pick up ace queen offsuit. Player under the gun +1 calls or limps in. I raise to 30. Big blind calls, and the limper calls as well. Flop comes king jack 10 with 2 hearts and 1 diamond, so we flop the nuts. Checks to me. I bet 45. The big blind calls, and the other player folds, so we're heads up now. The turn is the queen of diamonds. Not a great card. In case he has like an ace high flush draw, then we're both just chopping, and he could be free rolling me. He checks. I bet 75, and he just calls. So that's that's good news. I imagine if he had a straight with a flush draw, he'd have shipped it in there. So I can kind of rule that out, or not shipped it, but raised me. The river is 6 of clubs, it's a complete blank. The player checks, kind of look at him, we exchange eye contact, and I pause for a second, then I bet 300, so I wanted to kind of make it look like I was bluffing with a missed draw. The player tanks for a long time. Ultimately, he calls, and I show him my hand. It's good. He kind of shrugs and turns over the 9 of hearts, so I imagine he flopped a flush draw and had a gutter and caught the low end of the straight. So it was a great day for us, especially being stuck 500 in the beginning. We ended up cashing out for about 3,600, and we won a little over 2K on the session. So gonna enjoy this beer with Al here, and head to bed in a little bit.
Turn right onto North US Highway 60.
Would you expect anything less than the people of Earth, like a billion years from now? We'll definitely be traveling the universe in these crazy advanced spaceships, like checking things out.
I don't know what we'll be doing. I won't be around.
That just logically makes sense, like we'll go explore.
Yeah, I don't know how it works.
They exist.
They may exist. I will give you that.
But you don't think they'll come check us out?
And
You don't
just
think
do
we're
a
that interesting?
flyover of LA? No.
You don't think we're that interesting?
I mean, to something that's a billion years more advanced to us, what are they just looking at us?
What are we
So
doing?
they want our resources?
What was it doing? Was it just sitting in the air like
Yeah.
Brad,
What?
was it aliens?
I have no idea.
Better fucking jump in this discussion, man.
Yeah, but what do you think?
I just think the official explanation for it doesn't make any sense.
And so what does that make you think?
Aliens.
Makes me think that there's a bunch of little green dudes in a goddamn spaceship that are hanging out in LA.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about.